I love The Walking Dead.
It's not Walking Dead. It's Breaking Bad.
Anyway, so today, what are we doing?
We're doing a review of the entire of the season 8 of the Game of Thrones.
That was said so poorly. So we have the finale of the biggest TV show at the minute. So the question is, will we get a Breaking Bad style finale, which is perfect, or a Dexter style finale?
Finale. Love a finale.
Or a Dexter style finale.
Or a Dexter style finale.
In which we see Jon Snow ride Ghost into a hurricane. So how we're going to structure this is we're going to go through each individual episode, talking about the good and the bad, and then we're going to give what we think went right or wrong overall, and then how we would have done it better, hypothetically, if we thought it was bad, which we're not giving anything away yet.
No spoilers just yet.
Well, yeah, there is a massive spoiler warning for if you've not seen
Any
season 3, episode 2 of Point Break, then I really wouldn't watch this.
The setup for episode 1, I thought was, well, we thought, because this is a joint thing.
Yeah, cool.
Sorry, it was good.
Sorry, she's just reading the script.
I think that the scene with John and Aya, their reunion, was really good. A very long-awaited reunion. 8 years, to be exact.
You're really good at maths.
Thank you. And then the conflict between Dany and Sansa not being very welcoming and creating some drama and conflict was quite good. It set up the overall mood between those two characters throughout the entire season 8. And it is the best critically received episode of this season.
Which isn't that hard to do. So episode 2. This episode is purely setting up the battle. You can, if you skip this episode, like nothing would change. There is a nice little part where Brienne's knighted, and that sort of completes a story arc in a way, which is quite nice. And there's also a nice scene where like you get all these characters that have never been in the same room together, and they're talking, and that's quite nice.
You get a lot of reunions as well. For example, Iron, the Hound.
Yeah.
That was a really good one. And also Beric and the Hound. Oh no.
Beric and the Hound that have not spent the last 2 seasons or anything together.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
So episode 3. You had episode 2, which is building up all these characters, make you thinking, why are they building up all these characters unless all of them are going to die and it's going to make us more sad? Well, if you thought that, you'd be completely wrong, because they just don't kill anyone, really. I mean, they kill Theon, which, to be fair, it completes Theon's arc. To be fair, he's had a really good arc. He's probably one of the only characters this season that I'm sort of happy with the direction that they went. Jorah dies as well, which is obviously quite sad, because he's been in it since episode 1.
Just going back to Theon's arc, I think it's really impressive how they made us like a character in season 1 and then dislike him, absolutely hate him, feel sorry for him, and then love him again throughout 8 seasons. I think that's really impressive.
That was really well said.
Thank you.
It's almost like you got off Instagram. But my main problem with this is the Night King. He's presented since the first ever scene in Game of Thrones is North of the Wall with the White Walkers, and he's presented as the main villain, and he just dies straight away. And this sort of season is meant to be his time. So like, imagine like Avengers, you've got Infinity War and Endgame, which is like Thanos, and that's him. Now imagine if the part where Gamora kills him when he's got the reality stone, imagine if he actually just died then. Like, imagine like how the fans would react to that. Like, I just think they killed him off way too soon.
Especially when all the promos and adverts were making it like so terrifying about the Night King, and like the build up was huge. Like, everyone knew this was like his season.
And yet they make Cersei the main villain. The episode is also very poorly lit. Apart from Melisandre, it was really nice for it to come up and sort of light the flames and make it easier for us at home to watch it. I think another issue with this is sort of how it's like they didn't understand the characters. Like Tyrion, he's supposed to be really intelligent, and yeah, they're like, oh yeah, let's put all these people who can't fight in a crypt where there's dead people while you're fighting someone who can bring back the dead.
They've definitely dumbed him down, and I don't know why they do that, because
that's what made him so great. Cause he was
his only thing was intelligent, because he read all the time, and that's what like the books say and the season says.
And you never get to see Jon fight the Night King, which I was so annoyed about. Why didn't they just stay in the castle Like, they could have just stayed in the castle, and even Ned Stark says that he can defend with few men against loads of men from
Ramsay
his
did the
inside.
same, though, didn't he?
But the reason why Ramsay did it was Ramsay needed to show fear, and if he hid in his castle, because he didn't have respect or anything, he only had fear.
So he's doing it to prove a point.
Yeah, and if he showed weakness, and plus Ramsay got complacent, he was sure that they'd win. Well, I mean, they would have won if it wasn't off the Knights of the Vale, which Ramsay didn't know about. So.
Yeah, it's true.
But here, like, the Night King, they should just stay in the castle and then have bloody Drogon or Rhaegar fly around. And then I think the main problem with this is they go for substance over no, they don't. They go for spectacle over substance, and they try and make it look good whilst not thinking about the story. So they thought, oh, I know what would be good. We'll have all these flames go out as the Dothraki run in. But why did the Dothraki run in? Like, what was the point in that? Like, from a tactics point of view.
Especially considering Jon had fought them before, and so had a lot of the wildlings, so they would have known the power that the White Walkers had, and the size of the army. So they've just literally letting soldiers run into the death.
Yeah, it was just... Game of Thrones is about substance, it's not about spectacle. It can have spectacle, but it's not replacing it.
Well, the director actually said that the one thing he wanted in the Battle of Winterfell was to see loads of lights go out.
Oh, well, I'm glad that he ruined the episode.
And that's why he did that.
And also, Arya killing the Night King made no sense. I don't know why they did that. They should have had it be Jon or Dany because they have a reason to kill the Night King. Dany lost the dragon to him. Jon, they've been against each other since season 1.
Or even Bran.
Or even Bran, yeah. But not Arya. Arya's like... Arya should have killed Cersei or someone on a list. Like, out of all the big people for Arya to kill, she kills one of the one antagonist that's not on a list. It just... They try and surprise us, but why? Just make it...
That should have been an expected death. That should have been like, right, we know Jon's going to kill him. This is how it's going to go down.
Yeah. Or even Dany. If they wanted to surprise us, have Dany kill him or something like that. Or even Jorah protecting Dany. Or even Theon. Like, if Theon completed his arc by killing the Night King, I'd be happy with that. But because I did it...
It was just so random.
No, going to episode 4. I think this has promising parts. Like, Rhaegar suddenly dying. That was more like Game of Thrones, I think.
Definitely, yeah.
Even if that was due to CGI push-hits. And then obviously the worst thing about this episode is Jaime. They absolutely just throw his character arc out the window. Like, they were doing... his art was so good. They were having him... He'd gone against Cersei. He was finally doing good. He gets with someone who's much better from than Cersei. So frustrating. They shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I think it was completely out of character for Jaime to do that to Brienne.
I don't even know why they did that. I don't... Because the next episode they needed him to go back to King's Landing, but he could have gone there to fight and ended up there anyway.
It might have been to portray hope that maybe he'd been able to get over Cersei and find another love, but obviously he always goes back to her.
So episode 5, I actually think this episode is underrated. This got very poor reviews, mainly because Dany goes crazy. But I actually don't mind that because there has been links to it in previous seasons. And I think the reason why she does it is, if you think back, she always ends up killing everyone who like goes against her, the slaves, the Dothraki men, but they all happen to be bad. And this sort of answers what if there were good people involved as well, and she still kills them all. And so I think that just proves that she's willing to do anything just to get a throne, and obviously that's not great. So I wasn't that bothered, but I just think they shouldn't have done it in the way that they did.
I think we should have seen her go gradually more insane. They made her insane over one episode.
Because
we should have shown her state progressively getting worse after Melisandre dying Missandei dying, and Rhaegal, and her other dragon, I can't remember his name. Viserion.
They should have had more episodes and fleshed it out more.
Did you know I found this out today? There's supposed to be 10 seasons, and they cut it down to 8 because the directors got to do Star Wars. And so they were like, nah, let's do 8 seasons.
The writers.
The writers, sorry.
Yeah, Benioff and Wise. That would make more sense. Because if you think back to episode 1, you had Arya and Jon meeting, and Johnny and Dany are lovers, the Night King's still a threat, Cersei's still a threat. That was 6 episodes ago. You think back to season 5, like, in 10 episodes of season 5, what happens? Like,
it's so gradual and it's so like subtle, and it just makes more sense because you get to understand the characters' thoughts and feelings more. You get to see progression more, like characters moving. And this one is just like, right, They've fought Cersei. She's lost a dragon. That is insane. In one episode.
Yeah, there should have been more episode. This episode also had the Hound v the Mountain, which was long awaited.
That was amazing.
That was pretty good.
When he killed Qyburn as well, just out of nowhere. That was very Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I hated the way that Cersei and Jaime died. Just crushed by a...
See, I liked it. I liked they died together.
No, why? Why though? Why do they need to... The whole thing about Jaime is getting away from Cersei. His whole...
No, but he's never going to.
Why though?
Because they're twins and they're attached.
That's what a story arc is though.
I liked it. I didn't like how Cersei died, but I feel like Jaime and Cersei dying together were kind of poetic justice.
No. Episode 6. Oh, this... Up until this point, I was like,
The caption on the screen says, "Absolute worst thing ever." That's just Matt's opinion. Just thought I'd say that.
Well, up until this point, I was like, right, you know what? The first 5 episodes, they've been a bit... But the 6th one, it's the ending. It can end on a massive high. And I tell you what, this actually started alright, I think. Like, Grey Worm and Jon, I was hoping they would fight, and I was hoping Jon would kill him. And then Jon killing Dany, I thought that was really good. And then after that, it just all goes downhill. It's like, what is going on? It's like, so you get Jon ended up on the Night's Watch and being stripped of all his titles, when the whole thing on the last 2 seasons
I liked that.
have been about him being the chosen one and being Aegon Targaryen. Just what was the point?
It's like full circle.
Why? What's the point in having an arc if it's going to be a circle?
Something different.
No, it's not. Yeah, so
It's not predictable.
that's the problem. The writers are trying to be too predictable, and they're
They're trying
just
to be too
absolutely
unpredictable.
throwing everything out the window. So yeah, they're trying to be too unpredictable, and they're throwing everything out the window.
They've led up now though. They've given like 4 different stories now that they can go off on. So you can see what Jon does after he goes to the war.
But they're not going to do anything after
Yeah,
that.
there's spin-offs, aren't there?
Not to do with that. And Kit Harington never wants to play Jon Snow again anyway. He said that.
Why?
No, they were bored of it. But it's just like, why?
As you can tell, Matt is a very big Jon Snow fan.
It doesn't make sense. George R. R. Martin set up that he's Aegon Targaryen, and the writers are just going, yeah, he is the chosen one. I'll tell you what, let's send this to Star Wars. So you got Luke Skywalker, he's the chosen one, he's the one to save the world. And then at the end, he's about to fight Darth Vader, and he goes, you know what, I'm going to go back to my farm and just deal with my crops, because, I'll go back to where I started instead of, finishing this off. It's like, it's just, it's so underwhelming. Bran as well. Bran being the Night King, not being the Night King, Bran being the king, like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, he's the most unlikable character. Nobody actually likes him, and he's supposed to be the 3-eyed raven. What's the whole point of being the 3-eyed raven if he never does anything, and now he's just the king, which doesn't involve
What do you
him
mean he
being the
never does
3-eyed
anything? He can
raven?
see everything now.
He never uses it for anything.
He uses it all the time. He knew he was going to be king. He says it in the episode.
Oh my god, he knew he was going to be king, but what about the helping everyone?
To be fair, it could have had like a heads up, like, by the way guys, Danny's gonna go mad, so let's just rain a couple of things.
Or doing anything to help anyone, like walking into someone to help in the battles.
You never know. George R. R. Martin's still got to write the book, so we'll see how he...
Yeah, I can't wait
treats
for
it.
them. I can guarantee on that, he won't do any of this. So frustrated with that. And also Tyrion, like, Tyrion's reasoning for making Bran the king, it just makes it... So he's like, yeah, I've had a lot of time to think, and because I've just said this, it justifies whatever I'm going to say. So because I've had a long time to think, I think the king should be the person with the most stories. Do you know who's got the most stories?
Best story was.
Bran, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter how good of a ruler you are, it's about how many stories you've got.
It's because they also panned round to the 3 Starks, so it's Bran, Sansa and Arya, and I was like, right, they're going to choose either Arya or Sansa. And they fucking choose the worst one.
If you're not going to have Jon as the king, it should have been Sansa, because she's dealt with Cersei, she's dealt with...
I think Tyrion should have had it, I don't think Tyrion was bad at all. I thought Tyrion was a really level-headed ruler.
The way his ended, though, like...
I knew it couldn't have been, because obviously it was
It would have made a good one, but I think out of the suggestions...
It's an advice.
Or even they could have just gone, hey, you know what, Jon's still the technical heir to the throne, why don't we make Jon the heir to the throne? I mean, what...
I don't like how it's... No, now that I think about it, I don't like how it ended for his character. He deserved more than that.
It's just...
It fought too hard. It literally died.
He died to lead the Night's Watch, to become the chosen one.
To go back to the
to
Night's
then go
Watch.
back to the Night's Watch.
Which doesn't exist anymore because what are they fighting?
Oh, it makes no sense. Right.
This is why it got 5.0.
This is why I think where it went wrong. So season 7 got a lot of backlash because everyone was like, "Oh, it's too fan servicey. It's too predictable. Oh, John and Danny getting together. Who'd have predicted that? You know, that sort of thing." So I think the writers went, "You know what? Let's absolutely do a 180 on this and just make this season absolutely unpredictable. Throw everything out the window."
Did you know they filmed multiple different endings?
Not
so
surprised.
that they could just go, boop, that one.
We go, "Oh, which one should we do today? Should we do the one?"
So
where...
most fans are thinking this, and a few thinking this. So let's do this.
So we've got a few people that think John's going to kill the Night King, a few that think Danny. Hey, no one's guessed Arya because that wouldn't make sense. How about we do that to surprise everyone?
Just say
That'd be a good idea.
Just say exactly what I said, but in a different way. Cool.
Oh, I wonder who's going to be the king. Let's see. People think John, Danny. No one's guessed Bran. I guess we'll just do that. So frustrating. I think there was too few episodes. You've already said this.
100%.
Should have fleshed out
Too
more.
too little seasons as well. Like I said before, there's supposed to be 10 seasons. They should have stuck with 10 seasons. Why rush this amazing show that has such a huge fan base and has been going on for 8 years? Why rush it and condense it and make it the ending not worthwhile?
The next Star Wars trilogy better be pretty good. This is how we think it should have ended. Do you want to?
Yes, I want to read this.
Okay.
Okay, so our desired, preferred, however you want to put it, ending.
This is going from episode 3 of season 8.
There we go. So the Night King is attacked by Arya, but not killed. I'm not very good at reading that till you do it.
So the Night King is attacked by Arya.
I'll just chirp in.
You just ruined the story. The Night King is attacked by Arya, but he's not killed, he's sort of wounded. And because he's wounded and he controls the whole army, the army just stops, maybe stunned for like a few minutes. And it just gives time for everyone to run, like travel down south. Because the Night King's meant to be the main baddie, and you can't just kill him off in one episode. And so then they go down south, find Cersei. Cersei's obviously not gonna fight for them. So then I think Jaime should kill Cersei and complete his arc, and that'd be a satisfying arc for him then.
Mm-hmm.
The Night King then approaches, and everyone, the Lannisters, everyone that we've seen so far, like people love the ending to Endgame, yeah, because it's got everyone that we've seen so far, all the characters, fighting this one big threat that's been in it since the start. We could have the same here. We could have the Ironborn, we could have Dawn, we could have the Lannisters, we could have the Starks, all together fighting the Night King.
To show that like they are all one.
Yeah.
To unite the kingdoms.
And obviously Cersei can't be in that because she'd never fight for them. But if you have everyone else, and then the Night King is killed by someone that makes sense, if you don't want to be too predictable with Jon, then someone like Dany, or just someone that makes sense. I think Bran should then warg and actually help out a bit. Maybe Bran could warg into the Ice Dragon and just like kill himself.
Yeah.
And then more episodes after this. So maybe this is episode 5, and then the Night King's killed, and the rest of the episodes are showing Dany going crazy.
So 10 episodes, desirable.
Yeah, so 10 episodes, and you've got Varys and Tyrion plotting against her, thinking that Jon should be the rightful.
That should have been gone into more detail and not just 10 minutes of an episode.
Then maybe Varys dies like he did before. Doesn't really matter. And then I think that Dany should kill Tyrion for going against her, and then that makes Sansa be like, "Oi, Jon, mate, honestly, like we're not safe. You're the heir to the throne. She's just killed her hand. Like she's bang out of order. You need to do something." And then I think Jon kills her like he did, and then he's on trial. I think he's about to be killed for treason because the Unsullied are powerful. I don't think anyone's going to stop them from doing it if Grey Worm wants to do it. And I think Drogon, because I mean Jon's still a Targaryen, so I mean Drogon's going to protect him. So I feel like Drogon then comes in and just burns the whole area of the Unsullied. And then just from the ashes, you just see Jon come up.
Yeah.
And then everyone just bows down to him like they did with Daenerys, and then it just ends. But anyway, that's our picks our reasons for disliking season 8. Mostly my reasons.
I thought it was a good season. Definitely not the best. Definitely not the worst.
No, I think it's the worst season by a long shot. What season's worse than that? I mean, 5's a bit boring. 7's not great, but none of them do what they do with the characters that they do there. I'll tell you what. If this video reaches 26.2 views,
Stop doing it off views, do it off likes.
Alright, 26.3 subscribers. 1 comment, and we'll do a Game of Thrones ranked seasons. Yeah.